I often used to admire when people go through very tough time. They begin to lament over their problems. They begin to frustrate. They begin to have a depression. They begin to ask unreasonable questions. He is the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. He is the creator of the universe. And He is the sustainer and the provider. He is an awesome God. I don't know how people can raise questions like, why God has done this to me? Why He has allowed this to me? He is unfair. I have been worshipping the Lord. I have been very regular to the church. I have been very disciplined in my givings. I am a generous giver. I involve myself in ministry. I do so many things in the name of God. But people begin to ask, why God has allowed me into this situation? How God can do such a thing in my life? Why God has allowed me into this situation? Why this suffering? If there was one person who was always doing the will of God in the history of humanity, he is none other than Jesus Christ. He never asked the Lord, why you have done this to me? He was perfect in every way. Nobody can accuse Him. Even the enemies could not find fault in Him. He was always doing the will of God. He was always pleasing the Lord. But He was rejected, He was mocked at, He was insulted, He was beaten up, He was crucified. But He never asked the Lord, why you have done this to me? It is unfair. Even while He was hanging on the cross, He never complained. He never murmured against God. He was submitting Himself. Father, into your hands I commit myself. I commit my spirit. What a wonderful God we serve. He is the perfect example for all of us. Nobody have gone through that type of pain, that type of suffering. Even Job did not go through that path. If Jesus Himself never raised such a question, how dare we can ask the Father, as if we were always doing the will of God, as we were always pleasing God, as we were living a very perfect life, and we are asking God, it is unfair, why you have done this to me? Let me tell you, my dear friends, let us have the wisdom of God. When we come to the presence of God, we must be very, very, very careful enough. When we speak to God, He is the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. Yes, He is our friend. Yes, He is our brother. Yes, He is our Father. But at the same time, He is our Lord. He is the creator of this universe. When we come to talk to Him, we must be very, very, very careful. We must know what to talk and what not to talk. We must know how to behave. We must know how we can present ourselves pleasing before Him. We must know how to talk to Him. Let us not complain against God. Let us not murmur against God. Let us not raise questions towards Him. Instead of raising questions, we can ask the Lord for His mercy. We can ask the Lord for His grace. His mercies are new every morning. Those who humble will receive the grace from God. Those who fear, they will receive the grace from God. When you give thanks to whatever you have, you will receive grace from God. And let us always be in an attitude of thanksgiving, even in the midst of all the confusing situations, even in the midst of all your sufferings. When people reject you, when people mock at you, when people insult you, whatever sufferings that you go through, whatever tough path that you are traveling, in the midst of all your difficulties, sit in the presence of God and let us ask for mercy. Let us ask for grace to go through the path. Definitely the Lord will come and help you. Definitely the Lord will come and sustain you. Definitely the Lord will come in rescue of you. The Lord will definitely deliver you.